next couple of weeks, I'll be joined by some of my favorite husky, hairy, huggable homos to conduct some Q&As coming out of aGliff. With me today are my wonderful co-host, Jim Pugliafico. Hey, Jim.
Hey, I'm excited to be here with everybody.
And Will Lindis is here too. Hey, Will.
Hey, absolutely pleased as punch to be here with all of you. This is so exciting.
Oh yeah, we are totally excited to be part of aGliff this year, and we're looking forward to hearing from many different filmmakers during our Movie Bears mid-morning and midday movie Babble breaks. Keep an eye on the events section of the aGliff website for the times to those. As part of our coverage of aGliff, we're delighted to have some distinguished guests from the aGliff board with us today to tell us a little bit about the festival and what you can expect over the next couple of weekends. If you don't mind, why don't we start by having our guests introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about who you are and what role with aGliff you have.
Let's start with Todd.
Well, I too am pleased as punch to be here, Will. I'm the vice president of the aGliff board and could not be any more thrilled to be a part of this podcast and the festival. We're looking forward to it this year.
Thank you, Todd.
Welcome,
Glad to
Todd.
have you with us. Welcome. Hey. Cassandra, hello.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Can you hear me? Sorry, it's been a day. So my name's Cassandra. I am board president, and so excited to be with you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of the festival this year.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thanks so much for inviting us, Cassandra. We appreciate that. Jim, welcome as well. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to be back with the Movie Bears. Thank you so much for having us. I'm Jim Brunzell. I'm the artistic director of aGliff, and this is our 33rd year. This is my 7th year involved with aGliff. So thank you guys again for all your hard work in covering the festival again this year.
Our pleasure. 33 years. That's a huge milestone. I'm sure we're going to have lots more good tidbits like that to come. We're looking forward to hearing it. But Jim, welcome. Thank you so much. And Bears, welcome as well. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm Bears Rebecca Fonte. I am the secretary of the board, and I am also the technical director. So if you are watching the online festival, you will probably get tired of me this week.
Well, we couldn't do it without you.
That's literally correct. Tech runs the world. So Bears, we bow to you and your skills. Thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate you greatly. Well, we've got some questions for you fine folks, hopefully to learn a little bit about the festival and some of the ins and outs around what's going on. Cassandra, if you don't mind, with aGliff 33 being completely virtual this year, of course, due to COVID-19 and wanting to see to everyone's safety, I was curious, how has that shaped the festival this year?
Well, so much. Like at the beginning, it was us deciding, do we do this or not? And this was back right when they decided to cancel South by Southwest. And so we had a problem at first. We're like, well, so do we do this? The whole point of a queer film festival is that we have community. We're able to be together, engage. And so once we decided to go full steam ahead virtually, the board I can't even imagine not having everyone a part of our team right now to help us flip it. And so we've been able to take the festival virtual through the Eventive platform, but then also have a series of events and panels and masterclasses for everyone to still feel like they're together and like we have our community, even though we're not physically together.
That's interesting. And God, the challenges of like shifting the whole paradigm of something like a film festival after so many years is insane. But I guess I'll ask Todd this one. Cassandra touched on, some of the challenges, but maybe you could expand on some of the other challenges and maybe even some unforeseen opportunities that, conducting a festival in this way, can bring about. So if you could talk about that a little bit, it'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first we started back in March, and we turned the entire festival upside down and like let everything out on the table and started from scratch, right? So
Ugh.
we all really felt like it was better to make the decision to go virtual than to plan a physical festival that we might have to cancel, right? This was our path of least resistance to ensuring that we could still produce something rather than nothing. And I'll tell you, I've been producing events for 30 years and I have learned things. I have lost sleep I didn't know I had to lose. It's been a wonderfully challenging experiment. It's really made all of the board members and committee members think outside of the box and get outside their comfort zone and really feel like, you know, we are really kind of going out there and doing something that hasn't been done before from all of our perspectives. Like, this has been just such a huge learning experience. And I've said it throughout this week and talking to media and friends and everybody that will listen to me. I could not be any more proud of this board of directors, our committee members, our volunteers, everybody who has participated in this, because I am so excited to present this festival next week that I can't even contain it. It's so exciting, the lineup of not only the films, but all of the fun special events and everything that we put together. So just super ecstatic to be a part of this team this year.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
You know, it's really exciting to think about these opportunities because they very much shape the way that aGliff as a festival changes, the way that you roll with the punches and sort of the new things that you're able to explore. And one of the new things this year comes from the festival schedule. This year, the festival is actually spread over 2 weekends. The weekend, of course, of August 6th through the 9th, and then second weekend, August 13th through 16th. So my question actually is for you, Jim Brunzell. What can audiences expect on either weekend, or I guess even both weekends if they have that full festival pass?
Well, I mean, I think what they can expect is, you know, I mean, the decrease in the number of films that we're having online versus in person is not really that significant. It's probably, you know, 15, 20% decrease. So I think there's still plenty of films and events that are going to be happening over the 2 weekends, not to mention there'll be a couple one-on-one discussions at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in between the 2 weekends when we're not releasing any new films. But, you know, I think the idea, sort of what Cassandra and Todd have also mentioned, was, you know, we're already in the process of planning this festival. And once COVID hit and the pandemic, you know, was starting to take over, and South by Southwest here in Austin had canceled, we knew that we still had the opportunity and plenty of time to produce something. And, you know, it made sense to go into a digital online festival because I had gone to Sundance and Berlin to see films, to scout, and there was still plenty of content out there that we knew that we could play. And, you know, kind of the big question though was, would the filmmakers, producers, distributors, sales agents, would they sort of be open to us participating in an online virtual festival? And for the most part, they were. So I think one of the bigger challenges, though, was, like you said, Will, was sort of the scheduling and planning. And from the beginning, I sort of imagined it as best as we could replicate in-person festival with, you know, having new films available every day, because we've all gone to festivals in person. And, you know, you look forward to things as the festival progresses and each day, and you're planning out your week. And I really didn't want the festival to sort of be like, well, okay, we're going to open on August 6th, and here are 65 films to watch. Sort of like the Netflix kind of dump that they do every month or at the end of the month. And So I did want to make sure that we created sort of a sense of urgency, but also to highlight each film, each day, giving, new films the opportunities to sort of be showcased, I guess. So basically every day of the festival, you will be getting new content Thursday through Sunday. That's if you buy a badge for weekend 1, weekend 2, or if you buy badges for both weekends. So that was very important and very tough to make the scheduling work, but I think we figured it out, and we're going to incorporate a lot of live Q&As and some prizes along the way.
Jim, we love this idea of spotlighting content, making sure it doesn't get swallowed up. Kind of along those lines, is there anything in particular on deck for this year's festival that you're excited to be showcasing?
Ooh, well, I mean, there's 66 films in total in this festival, so it's always, sort of the question of, what do I want to highlight the most? And, it's sort of a lame answer, but, I think all of it. Obviously you have to have an opening night film, a closing night film. More recent tradition has been sort of our secret screenings, and in the past, we've done one secret screening in person, and what allowed us this year to go virtual and online was that I was able to reach out to a few filmmakers and distributors about doing 3 secret screenings. So that's always something to look forward to. It's always really fun to get the audience response. Obviously, it's not going to be the same being in the Alamo Draft House with 200 people awaiting what they're about to watch. But what I always like to tell people too, though, is a lot of these films, they are secrets because you haven't seen them. I mean, yes, you can read about them, you can watch trailers for some of them, but for the most part, you're going in not knowing the complete story, complete plot, the twists, the magic aspect that we all look for in visual storytelling and, the moving picture. So, obviously there are films in the festival that I really want to champion, but, I think it's just important that, I had to make sure that we had our, all the films sort of covered over the LGBTQIA queer spectrum, and to make sure that we were highlighting certain films or, certain genres that we typically, get overlooked or we don't see enough of. So, there's plenty for us to spread the wealth around and to see a lot of joy in these films. So that's what I'm most proud of with the lineup and how it all kind of came together, just to make sure that all these films, there was a spotlight for them.
So Jim, I'm going to pick on you a little bit more about the lineup, in that, we've all gone to film festivals, and a lot of times the focus is on, the features and, secret screenings and things that you've talked about, and premieres and so forth. But sometimes the shorts tend to, get a little bit overlooked, and we're guilty of that too, I think, in some film festivals. So I'm going to give an opportunity here, some love to the shorts. What can you tell us? What can we look forward to maybe in the shorts block? So what, things that we might want to look forward to, or things that you've seen that have kind of bubbled up from these shorts that you've collected?
Well, I think with the shorts, and, thank you, Jim, for bringing that up, because with the shorts, you're right. They're not usually the main attraction in a film festival unless it's a designated, shorts film festival per se. Yeah. But, this year, typically we've always done, sort of like an international showcase, a doc shorts program, and fiction or narrative shorts, and then our always popular late night and sexy shorts. But just with the submission process this year and just the quality of films we were getting, typically we do have like a comedy shorts program, but we just didn't get enough comedy submissions to, kind of a lot of blocks. So the comedy shorts are sort of spread out through all of the different blocks. And then we do have a couple shorts that are gonna screen or proceed before some features. But again, when, we were putting the lineup together, I sort of wanted it lean and mean, and I felt like less was more. And typically with the shorts, there's usually about a 60-40 ratio of shorts to features, and I think this year it's closer to like 55-45. So there, it's almost half of the program is short films. And I mean, there's some really delightful shorts, obviously, and there's some that are very thought-provoking. And I know that we have shorts, I think, represented from 12 different countries, because, we also promote international film as well. We're not just showcasing American indie or, American Hollywood type. So we definitely want to give a voice to all the, artists and filmmakers in the queer spectrum from all over the world at our festival.
Wonderful.
Bears, my next question is actually for you. And I know that you are working on keeping the ship afloat in terms of like all of these different virtual events that are happening, not just the films that we just talked about, but there are several different events that are happening that are not film related. Some different Q&As, even what we're doing throughout the festival. So could you talk to us a little bit about what we can look forward to in terms of those non-film events? What should we be excited about?
Well, when we started to plan for the virtual festival, we thought, well, we have to make sure that the festival is as fun of an experience, like in person, as it would be in person. And that means we have to do more, because we don't have parties. We don't have like the ability to just hang out in the lobby and see what's going on, right? So, and meeting each other. So the first step was just thinking about virtual spaces where people could meet. And that led to like really great brainstorming amongst the whole team about what kind of events we could have. And so I'm really excited that we have so many different things going on. We are going to have a live trivia show, which is called the Big Queer Quiz Thing, which is going to be about queer film and queer culture. We're going to have live bingo with Miss Richfield 1981, which will be a amazing experience. We're going to have a comedy show with a bunch of queer comics. And then we're going to have a series of masterclasses and one-on-one conversations, which I think are of a caliber that we have never had before at the festival. And I think that is one of the things that has been really amazing about going virtual, is it's a lot easier to ask somebody to come and do a virtual session when you don't have to fly them in, and they don't have to spend, they don't have to take a whole weekend off. They can just say, oh yeah, I can make an hour and a half out of my time, So we have a filmmaker teaching a masterclass, Rachel Mason, who we had as our secret screening last year. So we weren't really able to use her as much last year, maybe, as we would have liked, Rachel, because they had to be a secret. And so now she's doing a masterclass. We have Sam Federer, who just released this amazing documentary on Netflix called Disclosure, which came out last month and is probably the most important. I'm going to put it out there. It's the most important film for the queer community this year. And, that came out a month before our festival. So normally we wouldn't be able to do anything with that, but now we're going to have a one-on-one conversation. We have an opportunity to have another one-on-one with Nicole Maines, who we had at the festival last year for BIT, and talk about Supergirl. So it's going to be like our own little mini queer Comic-Con. And then we're going to have this great panel discussion with a bunch of festival programmers from all across North America, talking about the state of queer filmmaking and queer festivals. Jim helped program the festival programmers on that. And I think we're gonna have a really frank discussion about kind of where we are right now and what the future looks like, in the face of the pandemic. So I'm really excited, and that doesn't even, we've also got karaoke. We're going to have, a dance party, although I don't know if I've announced that yet, if that's been announced yet. So I may have just let something out of the bag, but I haven't actually said anything specific. So, but
Bears Rebecca, I'm just going to come out and say it. We are thrilled to have DJ Mel's living room dance party as part of our festival this year. We're going to highlight Saturday, August 15th and make it with that would have been the date of Austin Pride. And so we just decided to embraced that, and DJ Mel has been just wonderful in agreeing to highlight both aGliff and allow Austin a chance to really come together and celebrate Pride on August 15th. So we are going to be in the middle of Saturday night living room dance party with DJ Mel. So there,
awesome.
Bears Rebecca, you let the cat out of the bag, and I just finished it. There you go.
Good. I'm glad you can take some credit for it, though. Todd has been working on that for like the last month, so it's very exciting that he's able to, that we were able to actually do it. But no, that's the truth of the festival this year is, on the one hand, it's frustrating to have to go virtual, but on the other hand, it has allowed us some freedom that we have never had before to schedule different kinds of events. And I'm really excited to see how people respond to them. And, I don't know what next year is going to be like, but I've enjoyed the planning this year. So there may have to be some form of online next year just because it's given us a little more, ability to do different things.
It's so fantastic. As much as we love movies, they're phenomenal. aGliff is about more than just film. And so incorporating some of these different things is really exciting to hear about. Cassandra, I'm wondering, because aGliff has several nonprofit organization programs that serve the community, if you can maybe tell us a little bit about how aGliff gives back to that community kind of as part of this.
Oh, so you just wanted to set me up. That works. I like it.
I mean,
that's perfect. Well, first, I also wanted to say this. Look, do y'all see this? These are member bags. Do you see that? And this is like, I'm just saying, it's like, yes. So,
beach bag, new beach bag.
What's beautiful about that, what's going to come in that will incorporate the different sponsors we have, our community partners. We're going to have a little Topo Chico and Tito's little kit for our members that will be in the bag. Chapstick will be in the bag. Kind Clinic. We'll have condoms because, safety. I don't know, there's so many levels of safety. We have gloves, we have masks, hand sanitizer. Yeah. So we wouldn't be able to do this without connecting with our community and having that what I call the aGliff family. And so we are so excited to have them. So we have treats and eats for people. We have the bourbon tasting with chocolate, which is amazing, from Gusto. Did I say that right, Todd?
Actually, that's in Taro Restaurant.
There you go.
Crystal Craig, co-owner, is a master chocolatier.
Ooh.
And she's teaming up with Marsha Milam, who founded Ben Milam and Milam and Green Whiskeys, and their distilleries out in Blanco, Texas. Marsha, incidentally, is also one of the co-founders of the Austin Film Festival. So we're thrilled to have her hop the fence and come over to aGliff for some fun.
Excellent.
Yeah. So our whole, a lot of the reason why we were able to do all of these events was in part because of the community supporting us. So we have Whole Foods as a sponsor, Tito's, Bud Light, El Chile, the El Chile group, which is amazing. So you people get queso, which is like a love language for most of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's also really beautiful, so we're doing the Women in Blue screening, which is going to be a special screening, which is also going to incorporate our second Courageous Conversation that we're having to talk about what's really going on with the police department and the community, LGBTQI, as well as the Black community, and how we can help heal those broken relationships and try to go forward in a healthier way and actually listen to the people who are being affected. So we're going to have our panel will incorporate the director of the movie and then a lesbian cop who's a part of the documentary as well. And then we have local as well, local people to join us, Matrix and Michelle, and we have one more we're working on. But the beauty of it, it's everyone is coming from a place, again, of healing, and how do we go forward and highlight the best ways to treat people with equity, with respect, with just be a human, just be nice. Like, you don't need to be a dick. So we're excited about that. And then along with that, we'll also talk about our Queer Black Voices Fund, which is a huge thing that we are so excited that we've been able to do. Thankfully, Lenore Sheffman, one of our board members, graciously donated $5,000 for us to start this fund, and we will match any donation up to $5,000. And we've already received a donation for $2,000 to go
That's
toward
great.
the Queer Black Voices Fund. And what that is going to be is a way for us to always have Queer Black Voices as a part of the aGliff Festival. From this point on, every board will know that this is supposed to be important. So people will apply to get a grant for writers, directors, producers, actors to attend aGliff, to have their projects submitted, for travel to come to the festival, and then to be a part of our annual programming as well as our year-round programming. So we are really excited to continue highlighting that, and then to start that in 2021 to have people start applying and being a part of our festival. And it's not to say we don't have Queer Black Voices as in our festival now, but this will guarantee that we will continue to have them, and we will be highlighted more. And to me, what I've always said about our festival and the community, it is beautiful to have stories told by us, about us, for everyone to grow, evolve, and learn. So that's the LGBTQIA community, it's the Black community, it's Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. When stories are coming from the people who've experienced them, it is just that much more enriched. And so we're excited that we're going to be able to have that from this point forward.
Well said. Very powerful. And Beers, another one for you. With all this exciting things happening associated with the festival, besides the films, what is the best way for folks who may be listening to this or just now discovering aGliff to interact with the festival, either through Q&A sessions or through social media? Where should they go? What should they be doing?
The best way is obviously look at our website, www.aglyph.org, and you can see all the events going on. And we have a number of free events during the festival. Like all these Movie Bear podcasts will be free to anybody. All the Q&As will actually be free if you've seen any of these movies, or if you just want to find out about a movie before you watch it, decide whether or not you want to pay for a ticket. And of course, you can buy individual tickets. And all of that can be found through our website. The schedule is there, all the event listings, our jury, anything you want to find out about is at the festival. And this year, we really decided to try to keep the festival economical with pandemic, so you can come to the festival for just $35 for one weekend, or for a full badge, we'll give you a break and it's $65. So you get a $5 off. But the most economical version of coming to the festival is a membership, because then you get this year's festival and next year's festival for free. And that is the lowest price membership is $300, but that amounts to just $25 a month. And it really helps out your local queer festival. So, I really encourage everybody to check out the work that we're doing and the offerings. We have monthly screenings. We haven't had them in the past couple months because of pandemic, but we are looking into bringing them back after the festival, even if they are online. We have parties and such when we can party again. But it is really a great organization to be a part of. It is the oldest running film festival in Austin and the oldest running queer festival in the Southwest.
So Jim, I've got a question for you, and part of this is just because I'm gossipy, and part of it is just because I'm super curious, and feel free to just absolutely shoot me down on this one, but can you hype us up a little bit on these 3 secret screenings? Like, I know I can't ask you for any hints, but what can you do to wet the juices?
Sure. Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at different films that I wanted to highlight that I had seen from the fest circuit, these 3 films are all very different from one another. And one of them is by an aGliff favorite whose films we've screened in the past, and that I think people will be very excited to know what the film is. And that's going to be the first one. So that's called Secret Screening number 1. And then that's going to be over the first weekend. But then over the second weekend, you're going to get screenings secret screening number 2 and number 3. And both of those films are foreign titles. And they are some of like the craziest, wackiest movies I've seen this past year on the fest circuit and through our submissions. So, you know, I mean, one of them I think is going to really divide audiences, but I think it's also going to lead for very interesting discussions after. I know when I saw the film in Berlin, there was quite a lengthy conversation about it. And when I say lengthy, I'm talking about like walking out of the theater, walking down the street, going to a restaurant, having a meal, and still discussing this film for at least probably the length of the movie, to be quite honest. So it was a very long discussion amongst myself and maybe 4 or 5 other programmers. And the secret screening number 3 is just this really, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but the aesthetic and the look of the film is very different than anything else you're going to see in the festival. I'll rule out that it's not an animated film, but it could have very easily been an animated film. So I don't know. I mean, that's as much of a hint that I can give right now. But what I also say about it is that, you know, something that I should have mentioned about the scheduling is that our secret screenings are going to have a shorter time window. So you're going to probably want to get your badge or an individual ticket and watch it right away, because at least the first one is only going to be available for 24 hours. So it's not going to be available during the whole festival. And the other thing I should mention about these films and the lineup is something that Bears Rebecca sort of hinted at, was that in the virtual sense, or virtual realm that we are in, this year's festival is available to anyone in the state of Texas. So it's not just for the Austin community, even though that is where we are presently, but you know, we wanted to expand the festival as much as we could, and given just how massive of a state Texas is, we are opening up the festival to the entire state of Texas to watch these films, to participate in the Q&As, and be part of our events. And, you know, I think that's something that's really exciting because, you know, typically if you come to the festival, you have to be there in person. And this way, you know, because we are still in kind of self-quarantine and, you know, we're not out and about and we're not at a movie theater, this does give us the opportunity to, you know, market our brand and widen it as well. And so we really want to connect with all the audiences in Texas and not just Austin. So I think that's something that's very exciting, as much with the virtual festival and this list of secret screenings that we have planned.
That's exciting, Jim. Secret screenings are such a wonderful opportunity to go into something blind and to just be absolutely surprised. I think that in the past, at least for me as a aGliff attendee as well, some of my favorite experiences have been the mysterious grab bag that is the secret screening. So I'm very, very, very much looking forward to seeing what's on deck.
Just everybody trying to guess what it is, like having their hunches and playing off those hunches. That's part of the fun of the secret screenings.
I mean, I may have a whiteboard. I was making note of the clues on, Jim, here in the background, just trying to figure it out.
Detective Brad.
That's right.
Can I just say that my favorite moment of any aGliff festival that I've been to is, I can't remember if it was Jim's first year or his second year when the secret screening started, and he got everybody in the room for the overnighters, and we spent the first 2/3 of the movie trying to figure out why the fuck he was playing that film, because it had absolutely no queer content. And then as soon as it was revealed, that half of us were like, oh, that's so cool. And the other half were like, I hate you, Jim. How dare you play this film? Because it's not a super positive portrayal. And I think that that's what a film festival is about, is that ability to like get conversations going. And so I always think of the secret screenings as sort of forcing conversations a little bit more, because you are going in blind, and then I think it makes you you have to talk about things more afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say with the overnighters, since you brought it up, it's probably my favorite memory of all the secret screenings, because I remember standing out in the lobby after everyone was coming out, and I remember this gentleman came up to me and he said, "Did you pick that movie?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You should be ashamed of yourself and this organization." And he just bolted out. And then the next day, I saw him standing in line for another movie. So apparently it had affected him in some way, shape, or form, yet he was still, you know, supportive of the organization, even if that film might have triggered something in him. And yeah, I mean, you know, all these films, you know, they should start conversations, and whether if they're tough conversations or not, but I mean, we're in this new life of 2020 and a world that none of us in our lifetimes ever expected to be in. And a lot of these films do take, challenges further, and they do, you know, expand the conversation. And that's what art should be doing. You know, we're not always interested in the same type of cookie cutter type storyline or thematic setting, or, you know, anything that's sort of already been done. And a lot of these films do have an original voice. They're by a lot of first and second time filmmakers, and a lot of them are alumni. And, you know, we're just hoping that we can give them a space into presenting their work and to reach a broader audience that maybe otherwise wouldn't even know that these films even exist. So that's sort of the beauty of aGliff and our messaging and, you know, our brand and supporting queer artists and voices. So if it's got to be done through a secret screening, then so be it.
You know, Cassandra, Jim mentioned cookies, which takes me back to Alamo Drafthouse because they have amazing cookies. But of course, we can't be at Alamo for aGliff this year. But you mentioned aGliff Eats earlier, which we understand is offering some dining partnerships with some local Austin favorites.
I think Todd would be better to answer that because he is our sponsor chair and knows all of these places. And so I know Todd, go ahead.
Thank you. I know I am really excited about the
Talk to the bears about food. Do it.
Right, exactly. So, you know, that is true. Like I have this memory last year and the credit card bill to prove it of eating just about everything on the Alamo Drafthouse menu. And so that was one of the things that I really wanted to make sure we tended to this year. Just because you're at home, I want you to have as much time to watch the films and go to the events and not have to worry about what's for dinner. And so we've got some really great partnerships with local restaurants. El Chile over on Manor in East Austin has put together this aGliff snack pack that is just like, I can't wait to dig into it. It is their homemade spicy elote popcorn, plus comes with a couple of Mexican Cokes, and of course you can add add a margarita kit to that if like amp up your party a little bit. Gusto Italian restaurant on Burnett is giving us a kickback of 10% for any orders if you mention aGliff. We also have Intero Restaurant, who's taking part in the bourbon and chocolate tasting event on opening night. But Crystal has also put together a signature aGliff 33 Prism chocolate bar that you can purchase for $7. They also have some great specials, happy hour specials and drink specials that you can order from. And then we even have some fun stuff coming in from our Budweiser partnership. Cover 3 and Cover 2, as well as Flora's Mexican Restaurant, are all offering specials for aGliff attendees, and you can also do a mix and match 6-pack of beer with those folks as well. So just lots of really fun, you know, food is a big part of the festival, and we didn't want to miss out on that this year. So you can find all of that information. Plus we've got some great recipes from Tito's, vodka, and so you can mix up cocktail if you want, sit back with some popcorn and enjoy the festival.
And they all deliver to Arizona. Is that correct?
Yeah, some of them do have options for delivery. I don't think Arizona in the is
Yeah.
in the delivery zone.
The chocolate
but they
bars
all-
probably wouldn't travel very well to
You
some
know,
place.
I don't
It's
know.
115. You know.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, all of them do have curbside pickup, and many of them do have delivery options too. And we tried to really find, restaurants that, we tried to find a mix from North Austin to Central Austin to South Austin, so everybody had some options, and you didn't have to, drive 40 minutes to get your food.
Well, there you go. Important to have that popcorn or pizza or whatever it is to go with the amazing films and content that are coming out of aGliff. As we look to wrap up, we just wanted to thank all of you so much for taking time out of your crazy schedules to join us. Cassandra, Todd, Jim, Bears, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Well, we're looking very forward to the amazingness that is aGliff unfolding over the next couple of weeks. Remember, we've got some fantastic Q&As coming your way during the festival. Keep an eye out for the Movie Bears mid-morning and midday movie Babble breaks. You can find the times for those on the events section of the aGliff website, and we will see you then. Thanks, everybody. Happy aGliff. Take care.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.